Look, no one to think about war. It's messy, it's complicated, and frankly, it just ruins everyone's day. But the unfortunate truth is, the potential for conflict is kind of baked into the geopolitical cake. And ignoring that potential is like ignoring the very large, very angry elephant in the room wearing an I Heart Explosions t-shirt. So buckle up, because over the next little while we're going to be looking at some of the global hotspots where tensions are simmering. We're talking potential dust-ups between superpowers, regional rivalries, and the kind of geopolitical chess matches that would make even a grandmaster sweat. We'll be diving into the who, the why, and the oh god what happens if it kicks off of it all. Because here's the thing. Understanding these potential conflicts isn't about being alarmist, it's about being informed. Taiwan. This tiny island nation off the coast of China is the focal point of a potentially explosive standoff. China views Taiwan as a breakaway province that needs to be brought back, even by force. The US has a strategic ambiguity policy, not clearly stating if they'd intervene militarily. China's military has been upgrading with new ships, planes, and missiles. The US still has the most powerful military, but any conflict would be costly. Taiwan is vital economically, especially in semiconductors. The stakes are high and the potential consequences are terrifying. Kashmir, a land so beautiful, they named a fabric after it. Also, a place that's been a geopolitical hotbed for over 70 years. Since India and Pakistan gained independence in 1947, they've been locked in a bitter dispute over this mountainous region, fighting 2 wars and countless skirmishes over it. The heart of the issue? Well, Kashmir is majority Muslim, but it's currently divided between India, Pakistan, and a slice controlled by China. Both India and Pakistan claim the entire region as their own, leading to a seemingly never-ending cycle of violence and mistrust. And then there's the whole nuclear weapons thing. Both India and Pakistan have nuclear arsenals, making this one of the most dangerous flashpoints in the world. The human cost of this conflict is immeasurable. Civilians on both sides live in constant fear, caught in the crossfire of a dispute that seems to have no end in sight. Picture this. A tropical paradise with crystal clear waters, pristine beaches, and enough fish to feed a small continent. Sounds lovely, right? Now, imagine that paradise is also home to one of the most volatile geopolitical disputes on the planet. Welcome to the South China Sea. At the heart of the matter are those tiny dots on the map you might mistake for spilled coffee, islands, specifically the Spratly and Paracel Islands, claimed in whole or in part by China, Vietnam, the Philippines, Malaysia, Brunei, and Taiwan. China in particular has been flexing its muscles in the region, building artificial islands and military outposts on a scale that would make even the most ambitious property developer blush. The US, meanwhile, has been conducting freedom of navigation operations in the South China Sea, sailing warships close to the disputed islands to challenge China's claims. A minor incident at sea, a misidentified fishing vessel or a stray missile, could be all it takes to spark a conflict. We're talking about a potential clash between some of the world's most powerful militaries, with global trade and energy supplies hanging in the balance. The Middle East, a region more volatile than a barrel of nitroglycerin left out in the sun. At the heart of that volatility lies the antagonistic relationship between Iran and Israel. Engaged in a shadow war for decades, a tangled web of proxy conflicts and covert operations. Iran, with its Revolutionary Guard and support for groups like Hezbollah, views Israel as an illegitimate state. Israel sees Iran's nuclear ambitions as an existential threat. A single incident, a miscalculation, could ignite a wider conflict. The Middle East is a tinderbox, and Iran-Israel relations are a dangerous spark. Eastern Europe, a region that knows a thing or two about conflict. Right now, Russia and NATO are in a high-stakes standoff. Ukraine is caught between its Soviet past and Western aspirations. Russia, seeing Ukraine as part of its sphere, annexed Crimea in 2014. NATO views Russia's actions as a threat, bolstering its presence in Eastern Europe. Both sides possess arsenals capable of ending human civilization. A miscalculation could lead to catastrophic consequences. The ghosts of the Cold War are still with us. The Korean Peninsula, a sliver of land divided by ideology, history, and a whole lot of barbed wire. On one side, you have South Korea, a vibrant democracy and economic powerhouse. On the other, North Korea, a reclusive dictatorship with a penchant for military parades and nuclear brinkmanship. North Korea, under the leadership of Kim Jong-un, has been busy developing its nuclear weapons and ballistic missile programs, much to the consternation of the international community. South Korea, meanwhile, finds itself caught between its unpredictable neighbor to the north and its powerful ally, the United States. The possibility of nuclear weapons being used is a terrifying reality, and the humanitarian cost of another Korean war would be catastrophic. The Sahel region of Africa, a vast expanse of land stretching across the continent from Senegal in the west to Eritrea in the east. It's a region of stunning beauty, but also one plagued by poverty, drought, and increasingly violent conflict. Groups like Boko Haram, Al-Qaeda, and ISIS have gained footholds in the region, exploiting local grievances, recruiting fighters, and launching attacks on civilians and government forces alike. Local governments, often weak and corrupt, struggle to contain the violence, lacking the resources, training, and often the will to effectively combat these groups. The violence has already displaced millions of people, creating a humanitarian crisis of immense proportions. The Sahel is a stark reminder that conflict rarely stays contained within neat borders. Forget battlefields and trenches, the next world war might be fought and won without a single shot fired. Welcome to the age of cyber warfare, where the weapons are lines of code, the casualties are data points, and the battleground is the very fabric of our digital lives. In this new era of conflict, nation-states are no longer the only players. Hacktivist groups, criminal organizations, and even lone wolf actors can wield significant cyber capabilities, launching attacks that can cripple infrastructure, disrupt economies, and sow chaos on a global scale. The United States, China, Russia, and other major powers are all vying for dominance in cyberspace, developing sophisticated tools and strategies to defend their own networks and, if necessary, cripple their adversaries. The lines between peace and war are becoming increasingly blurred in the digital age. Strengthening our defenses, developing international norms of behavior in cyberspace, and finding ways to deter aggression in the digital realm are crucial challenges that we can no longer afford to ignore. So, there you have it, a whirlwind tour of some of the most volatile corners of our planet. We've seen how territorial disputes, historical grievances, and good old-fashioned power struggles can create the perfect storm for conflict. Now I know what you're thinking. This is a lot to take in. But here's the thing. Ignoring these issues won't make them go away. Staying informed about global conflicts, understanding the motivations of the players involved, and engaging in informed discussions about these issues is more critical now than ever before. Stay informed, stay engaged, and let's navigate this complex world together.